What's up, guys? SparnCat, and in today's Battlecats tier list, I'm ranking the most underrated unit in each rarity. This is all subjective, it's my opinion, and just by the way, it's been a while, so I'm glad to be back behind the mic and doing a ranking video. I've been doing a lot of shorts because of school, and as I said, I'm very glad to be back. And I'm just going to get into the video with Mola Mola, who I think Mola Mola has been very slept on, even by myself. I think a couple months ago I put him on a thumbnail for the worst Uber, and that's just not the case. You know, oh, something happened. But Mola Mola is going to go, I'm going to put him in B tier for now, and we'll see if I keep him there or not. But when you fully talent him, it's a very expensive process. But when you do, you get a very good backliner that has good survivability, not because of his base stats, but because of the talents. And his talents, if you max out his surge, he gets an 100% chance activation of, I believe, a level 5 mini surge. And it is very good in terms of just dealing a lot of chip damage, and could also help him be a backliner despite his long range. Additionally, he has an attack up talent, so this allows him to just be better because he has more damage. And also, he has a dodge talent, and if you get his dodge talent and upgrade that, then he has an 80% chance of being dodged at any given time. And that's huge because despite his low base health, very low base health, it allows him to survive because it's 80%. So that means if RNG is on your side, 80% of the time he can't be touched. And that's huge with his range. So more often than not, he's going to survive. I do put him in B because of how costly it is. And before his true form, he's horrendous. Or at least just bad. I mean, he has none of those other perks or anything, so take it how you want. He's a lot more replaceable before his true form and talents, but you could also put him in A, possibly, because I'm personally being carried by him in a pretty good part of Uncanny Legends. So he's holding the test of time. He's standing the test of time. Moving on from Mola Mola is going to be JANGI, and I think JANGI's a very slept-on meat shield. I'm going to put him in A. He's a little expensive for some stages, but the fact that you could use him in almost any restriction stage, on top of his durability, his guaranteed survival of a lethal strike, and just all around being a very solid meat shield, definitely deserves to be an A tier. And I don't think enough people talk about him with all these specialist meat shields and everything. And those specialist meat shields, definitely a time and a place for all of them. But JANGI is a very good generalist meat shield who not only is a good meat shield, but also deals a lot of damage for a meat shield. So he could help you clear out peons or even attack some medium strength enemies. If you're earlier in the game, he could help you push back a little bit while preventing the enemies from pushing back. Not an offensive powerhouse or anything, but one of the better offensive meat shields in the game, which I don't think a lot of people think about with a meat shield, but it's a nice addition. And you're technically getting 2 meat shields for 1, and he's good. Just bring him in the right stage because sometimes you won't get the money to buy him. Moving on from JANGI is going to be Chimera. And Chimera isn't necessarily great or anything. I'm probably going to, I'm going to put Mola Mola, maybe like an A minus. And, yeah, I'm going to put him in C. But I do think he's the most underrated because of how much he does help younger players. And by younger players, I don't mean your 3, even though you might be, but I mean newer players. Players new to the game, early game, and Chimera has been there for all of us at some point. He's been very helpful, and even in some stages, his knockback could be very useful. Maybe you pair him with your run, and you prevent yourselves from getting destroyed by powerful forces. Although crazed Chimera tends to be better, Manic Chimera is usually the better option, but there are times where dual Chimera works. There are times where you just want the knockback, and he's a viable tank, and he does some decent damage. And you know what? I would use him over Mechabun any day of the week. But not the greatest normal cat. Not saying that, but I do think out of all the functional ones that could actually do something, Chimera is probably the most slept on. So I'm going to put him in C tier. He's all right. And moving on to one of my 2 specials that are going to be on this list, we have a special legend here, Deron. And Deron is going to get a high A for me. He doesn't live to do enough, but he doesn't have to. And Deron just kind of runs in and he's a kamikaze. He goes and he dies, but he inflicts a ton of status effects. He does a ton of things. He has a surge and everything, so he really does do his job well. He inflicts things and debuffs enemies, and that's very valuable. There aren't a lot of units that do what he does. And I do think he's underrated because everybody's talking about Awakened Muhammad Cat, Deron, Mina, or even later in the game, everybody's talking about Nala and Gigando, and all these units do deserve to be recognized for their various strengths and abilities. But Deron is nothing, no powerful. He's no offensive powerhouse or anything. He's not a tank. He's not remarkable, but he is remarkable in his own way. And that is by being a debuffer and a great crowd controller and spammable cheap. So pretty good right there. I'd put him in A. Now, I'm probably going to butcher the name of this. Let's see. Izanagi? I think so. Izanagi. Izanagi's going to be an S tier. And I know everybody's going to be saying, whoa, Spartan, why is Izanagi on this list? He's not underrated. And I do think he is, because I don't think people realize that Izanagi has over 120,000 DPS against traded enemies. 120,000 DPS, Spartan Cat! Oh my god, I didn't know that! And of course, that is absolutely insane, but there are a few drawbacks. One of them is multi-hit attack, so I just talked about Nala, and that's kind of how Izanagi works, 3 different attacks, so probably not going to hit all of them on one enemy, but the fact that 120.4 thousand DPS is on the table, geez. And the second big drawback is single target, so make sure to bring in a wave unit or just some area attackers with some good distance, clear it out for Izanagi, and just make some light work of these enemies. Izanagi is like a long-range Balrog, so just think about that. But yeah, 120,000 DPS. You guys are going to get sick of my microphone by the end of this, but 120,000 DPS! Yep, that's just really fun to do. I just really like saying that, because I don't think anybody else in this game can do 120,000 DPS against every trait. And yeah, say what you want. Maybe Gaia should be the best or whatever, but this isn't the best and the worst or anything on this list. This is just who I think's underrated. And most people agree that Izanagi is a top 3 legend, but I want to put Izanagi on top for the underrated discussion. Dancer is going to be my other special that makes the list, and of course, a fully talented Dancer. If you don't have a talented Dancer, then Dancer's a lot worse. And I'm going to put Dancer in B tier. Very solid, middle-range attacker. Decent health and everything. Spammable. And the Surge really does make the difference for him. I mean, Michael Jackson out here not only looks great, but has 330 range. So think of Titan Cat with more range or something like that. I don't know. It's actually almost like a Euron in a way. With less range and everything, but the Surge is good crowd control, almost in place of the knockback, and it has pretty good stats for its price and everything. So I would definitely consider bringing it in 4-star stages. Maybe later the game might fall off a little bit, but that's what you have talents for and upgrades. And getting at level 50, upgrading all the talents, getting at Surge, I definitely think it's a competitive option in some restriction stages and even some strategies. So among the best stats for a special, but not always talked about. And another unit that I think everybody's using a strategy at some point for cheeses and things, we have Professor Cat Jobs, and I'm going to put him in B. Incredibly situational, though, so beware. It's the slowest cat in the game, so you might not get it up into the front lines in a long map or whatever, but if you're being cornered into a base or whatever, and you have him, and he sends his Surge out, he weakens the enemies down to 1% of their total attack power. That's right, he takes 99% of their attack power away. Is that not insane? But yeah, I do think it is insane. 99% of their attack power gone in the toilet. With his Surge and everything, he has nearly 100% uptime. And God bless your enemy's souls if you could somehow stack him, which I don't know if you could actually do. It's going to be hard to do that. But if you could do that, please let me know in the comment section. I don't know how you could do that, but if you could somehow do it, then you're probably Matt Shea or somebody in the comments. Yeah, if Matt Shea is watching this video, though, I'd be more than happy about that. But yeah, I think Professor Catjobs gets killed easily. That's probably his biggest downfall. And the slow speed makes him take a year to get to your front lines. But other than that, he has a ton of potential, and he's really hit or miss, really situational. But as I said, has the potential to become a great unit. But this is my list, and I'm sure there's going to be people that disagree with me. And you know what? That's great. I actually want you guys to comment down below and everything. We could have a good discussion. I learn as a creator, and I invite new people to my channel with different ideas. So I'm actually looking forward to this video's comment section. And, you know, if you guys enjoyed it, made it this far, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and it greatly helps my channel out. We just passed 1,500 subs yesterday. Huge. I can't believe it. Honestly, I mean, the shorts have been great for the subscription growth, but I do acknowledge that you guys like long videos, so I'm trying to balance them both out with school, especially as school is taking up a lot of time. But I'm glad to make another tier list, and as I said, I'm going to try to post 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time every Sunday, usually a tier list or some long video, and probably 5 or 6 shorts a week. So keep that in mind if you're wondering when I'm posting what. Shorts are going to be around 7:30 to 8 every night Eastern time, so keep that in mind. So yeah, I apologize for getting bored of them, but I'm bringing a lot of new people that seem to like them, and I want to expand the channel, but I also want to maintain long videos because I acknowledge that that is probably the heart of this channel. So I'm trying to do the best of both worlds, expand the channel while satisfying the new viewers. It's a very finicky balance, but I'm very glad and appreciative that you guys are understanding this. But also, comment down any thoughts you have below about anything, really, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload. And make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. SpartanCat signing off, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace! That wasn't very peaceful, but have a good one, guys.